All right, Harry, today's reading is in Matthew chapter 17, verse 1 to 4. It says, after 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brother of James, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Just then, there appeared before them Moses and Elijah talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah.
Yeah, this is a special event, actually a very special one. Jesus had special visitors that day. Moses and Elijah, heroes of the faith, came to Jesus to encourage him to face the suffering that was soon to come his way in Jerusalem. There were also 3 disciples present that day. Why is that? I believe that Jesus and his Father wanted to have witnesses for Jesus' whole ministry. 2 to 3 witnesses. That was always a necessary thing. So why these 3 disciples? Always these 3. They all used to fish for a living. They were all there for Jesus' whole ministry. So why was Peter there instead of his brother Andrew? When I think of Peter, I like him and smile. I believe Jesus also did. When Peter saw Moses and Elijah with Jesus that day, Peter wanted to be helpful. He offered to build them each a shelter. How and with what? That's impossible. But Peter cared. Peter was a fisherman, not a construction guy, but he wanted to help. In the chapter before, Jesus asked his disciples, who do people believe me to be? Names like John the Baptist, Elijah, and Jeremiah were suggested. But what about you? Who do you say that I am? Peter, without hesitation, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. This time, Peter was right on. Jesus is pleased, blesses Peter, and thanks the Father for revealing this to Peter. A few verses later, Jesus tells his disciples what is waiting for himself at Jerusalem and how much he will have to suffer. Peter is listening and he's horrified, and he rebukes Jesus. This shall never happen to you. This time, Jesus is less kind to Peter. Jesus says to Peter, get behind me, Satan. How humiliated Peter must have felt. I can so relate to Peter. So many times in my life, I finally get something right, and then I say something totally out of place. And so was Peter's life here also. Peter did truly love his Lord. Could you read Luke 22:31, please?
Yeah, it says, Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat, but I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. But he replied, Lord, I am ready to go with you to prison and to death. Jesus answered, I tell you, Peter, before the rooster crows today, you will deny 3 times that you know me.
Yeah, Peter was serious when he said he would die for the Lord. Yet in a moment of weakness, he denied knowing him. I really like verse 32. Jesus knows Peter is going to fail. Jesus tells how much he has prayed to the Father that Peter's faith would not fail. Best of all, Jesus tells Peter, when you have turned back from your failure, that is, strengthen your brothers. And Peter did. Peter fell forward that day. He because he loved the Lord, and even more, he strengthened his brothers for the next 35 years.
Amen. And that's something that we should all take into heart, right? When we're going to fail, I like that word that you use, fall forward, right? And come back stronger so that you can show more compassion and love towards your other brothers.
Yeah, and it was Peter failed on his own accord, but yet Jesus knew he would fail. But he knew that after he wept bitterly, but he realized that he loved the Lord and the Lord loved him, and they were going to meet again. And just that confidence, and so Peter realized, I'm not as strong as I thought I was, and I messed up big time. Oh my, I could relate. And yeah, and so he did come back, and if history is right, he preached for a long time. He loved the Lord a long time, and then supposedly even died for him. So that's beautiful.
Amen. Thanks a lot for this, Harry.
Thank you.